My battalion commander told me to send some troops down to check on there were two or three large sampans. They weren't really sampans, they were boats. He told me to send some troops down to check them out. I sent three guys, and went down, and they didn't even get to those boats before the enemy opened up on the other side. They were very likely guerrillas. They had AK-47s. In no time at all, I had three guys wounded down there. And before I know it, my two radio operators and I were about 70 yards or so from there on a little knoll where I could see what was going on down there because I had platoons on my left and in the middle, and then I had another platoon over here on my right. And these guys came from a central platoon. It was just part of a squad, like I think three guys. And they put some rounds past my one RTO and me. I was speaking over the radio because by that time I was calling for a medevac, and he was standing nearby because the cord of the microphone to the radio is short. Well, they put a round through the insect repellent bottle in my helmet.
Wow.
I didn't. He hit the ground yelling, "Oh, oh," and holding his face. I thought he was hitting the face. The insect repellent hit him in the eyes.
Wow.
That stuff is vicious. Oh, it's just vicious. Anyway, and but still they were firing, and we were shooting back. No, I was not. I was busy, and I left the shooting back to the platoon that was in the middle, and didn't want to shoot over these guys, of course.
Right.
And it's my place more to take care of the troops and orchestrate the fight, if you will, rather than being a fighting man. But of course, we ducked down. We were lying on the ground. They were still shooting over our heads, and my senior medic was crawling, trying to get to one of the guys that was wounded really badly. He had a severed femur and femur artery, and I don't need to tell you the risk, his risk element.
Right.
So we were delayed a bit. The medic was delayed a bit in getting to him, understandably. The man's, there, he's having to crawl very carefully and try to avoid being hit. They were firing at us. Well, that body of water was so vast. We couldn't go after them right away. We couldn't with ground troops. No way. So I called artillery in, but it took a while to get it, and they enjoyed themselves for a while. And we were still shooting back.
Yeah.
That platoon, they were hammering them, the M60s going and M79s and what have you. But they had fortified bunkers, I believe, so we weren't very effective against them. And that was just tragic. I had two men who, well, the one man who had a femur artery severed actually died.
He did.
He died of shock, and you know what shock is. Basically, the loss of blood. Your body can't function, and it shuts down. And we all thought he was going to make it because the medic applied a tourniquet. By that time, that artery is a big one, and you can lose a lot of blood in a hurry. We all thought he was going to make it, but he didn't. And when his fellow platoon members found out, some of them, they knew him and had his home address. They wrote his mother telling her that it looked like things moved too slowly. Maybe he could have lived but the helicopter, the medevac couldn't get in so long as the artillery's firing. We wanted to, and once the artillery started firing, basically it stopped. Those guys ran because they knew I was going to adjust the rounds right in on them. And this mother wrote me. She was distraught. Please tell me how my son died and why. Because it seems based upon what I've heard from his fellow soldiers, that he should have lived. Okay. So I drafted up a letter. At least I had the common sense to realize that I'd better run this by my battalion commander first. He told me, absolutely not. He says, it's well written, George. You did a good job, and she would benefit from this. But we're not allowed to do that. There has to be a response has to go from JAG, the Judge Advocate General, and it'll be a form letter. That's all she'll get. Well, it was very disturbing. I really don't think you ever get over that.
What did you tell her in the letter?
Well, I explained. It was pretty. It was more than one page. I explained in excruciating detail the situation. It was far from being simple. Uh, we were all in great danger. The enemy had the advantage to a degree, and I did relate to her how her son was loved, and appreciated, and how popular he was. Uh, a young soldier like that with a good attitude has a an effect on others, and that was him. That was Ski. Very handsome young man, very smart, and
As you look back on that, as an officer, of course, you obey the orders of your superior. And so your superior said you can't send the letter. The response needs to go out from JAG. As you look back on it, is there part of you, though, that wishes that you had just sent the letter anyway?
well, probably, but the battalion commander told me not. I mean, I was not so much career minded. Frankly, by the time that experience was behind me, I'd resigned myself that I wasn't going back. I would resign my commission and leave. The career in the Army wasn't that important to me because I know I was damn lucky to be alive. I had people shot around me so close. They were after they were after me, man, and they could figure out who the leaders were. You put a handset, let them see you put a handset and talk in it. They know, the sniper knows that's you. You're the man. And at all levels, that's why a lot of the lieutenants died the way they did.
The bullet takes out the insect repellent right here on your helmet. So it's obviously a very close call.
Yeah.
Did you know immediately that that's what had happened?
Oh gosh, yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, the RTO told me they hit your insect repellent bottle and it came in my eyes. Oh yeah. He was blinded for about 30 minutes. I
So
mean, I don't mean literally, but he was unable to. His eyes were burning so much he was washing his eyes with canteen water, trying to get that stuff out of his eyes. Anyway, go ahead.
So when does that really settle in? Because I'm imagining you're so focused on what's going on, this information comes in that a bullet's just gone, what, maybe 2.5 inches from my head here, taking out my insect repellent, splashed my RTO in the face. So you know that as a fact, but at what point does that settle in, how close you came to buying it?
There were other incidents, real close, real close. Oh, it settled in all right, but I couldn't dwell on that. I just couldn't. A young man named Bronner from Kentucky was killed one day. We had to cross a big canal by sampan. we'd have to stretch a rope across and and borrow some sampans from the local villagers, a couple, so we could ferry ourselves across. It was a big, wide, fast-moving water, drown you in a minute, but you couldn't stand up. Period. It would take you under. Uh, and he swam across and with the rope and tied it to a tree on the other side so we could tie it to a tree on the near side and ferry ourselves across. He helped me out of the sampan I was in because the bank was muddy and he still was shirtless and he was in his bare feet because he swam across and his clothes were and his gun were his M16 were coming in the next sampan behind us. Uh, but he was helping us out of the sampans because we stepped into mud. Okay, he helped me. I moved up. I released his hand and I took one step and I heard the pop. They were going to hit me in the head and it hit him just below his ear. Instantly, dead. That one got me. If I hadn't taken that step, it would have been me. But those things happen, those things happen. Uh, but you can't don't think I was not aware of it. But I can't go around ducking behind trees. You know what would that do with my troops? I had to just try to be careful. If I was going to talk over the radio, try to move so there's I'm next to a tree somewhere. Of course, you may not know exactly where he might be, but they were very good at shooting us across a body of water because they knew we could not get across it quickly and go after them, and they had time to run.
I'm assuming this incident with Bronner, I mean, I'm assuming it leads to what you hear so often, just that thinking, why him, not me? Um, kind of these thoughts that you can never really resolve. Why him, not me? And
I don't dwell on it. It can hurt you over time. Yeah.